Let's have a look. Got
Oh,
it.
we're recording now.
Perfect. That's why I'm software support, you see.
How's it going, everybody? This is Dave from This Is Pop Punk Promotions. I'm here with Better Luck from Central England. How's it going, guys?
How you
Good.
doing,
Good to
Dave? You all
meet
right,
you.
mate?
Good to meet you, man.
Likewise, really appreciate you guys coming on, and let's dive right into it. So when and how did you guys form?
Oh, yeah. So it was kind of 2018, was it, Rob? I think it was.
Yeah, I think so. About around then. So we all kind of know each other just from living in the same town for a bunch of years. Um, like knowing each other from going to the pub and stuff like that, really. And
We
some
played
of
in
us have played together
bands,
in
didn't we?
bands.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you played with Jimmy a little bit, didn't you? In
I played with
Arcaders?
Jimmy, our bass player, and Jimmy had played with Jack, who's the drummer, and then Mickey, who you're speaking to as well today, had played with Blake as well in another band. So we all kind of crossed over a little bit. And basically, I think Jack and Jimmy and Mickey were like jamming out some like old school kind of like pop
Taking
punk
that
emo
Sunday.
style stuff. Yeah, like Taking Back Sunday, things like that. And then I bumped into Jimmy, and he said they didn't have a singer, and I didn't have a band at the time. So I was like, that sounds pretty funny, like nostalgia trip. It might be a laugh. So I got involved, and then Blake, who's our other guitar player, he got involved because Mickey suggested the same thing, and then that's kind of how we started.
We thought it was pretty funny, didn't we? Because we didn't really hear of bands having three guitarists playing this sort of music, and we thought it wouldn't work. But now, since we've done it, I can't imagine being anything other than three guitarists. Sounds so
Yeah,
weak, anything less.
that's definitely true. Yeah, yeah, like it's kind of a hill we'll die on. We're like, hey, we're gonna make it so you can't live without one of the other guitar players.
That's awesome. You guys just found a way to make it work.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. Like, if anything, it means you can do more intricate stuff. And if you see like really big bands, like I mean, like stadium bands and stuff, there's always like an extra guitar player who's not really
Session
part
time.
of the band, tucked away in at the back of the, like you go and see Green Day, it's not really three of them, it's another one, or like anyone. Um, so yeah, we thought it wasn't too like wilder idea, and it does make us sound thick and big. So I definitely wouldn't go back.
Hmm.
In the end, that's what matters. All about sounding thick and big.
Yeah, that's it. It gives us definitely gives us our sound.
Right on. So you guys just released Another Day. How's the response been to it?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty good.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty good.
We've got
Sorry, go on,
another
mate.
video out for that as well, which is pretty cool. And that's been a big hit with I'd say especially the younger people because it's got a little bit more of a story to it than our other videos. But it's nice just getting content out there for us as well, like as well as the people getting to listen to it.
Yeah, we can be quite bad for like registering the what the feedback is because we're kind of like really interested in making the thing, and then we get really interested in making the next thing. So we're quite bad for like registering how it's like gone down. We just want to like do something else now. It's always like about moving forward and making new things, really.
That's awesome. So when you guys recorded, what was the process?
The process recording.
Yeah. Who'd you record it with, and how was the
Yeah,
process?
we're so the guy's name's Owen Davis. What's his company called, Rob? You can't remember.
Loud Noise Productions.
Loud Noise, yeah, yeah. So shout out to Owen. He's really, really good. He recorded our first couple of first EP actually, our first four tracks that we released last year. And obviously just from that, he knows what our sound is now. So releasing these, we've got two tracks now, End of the Day, and one coming up hopefully next month is what it is. But it's easier for him just knowing how we interact, how we sound, our sort of setup and how we work to get these tracks down. And we've already got a couple more tracks booked in for the end of this year and hopefully start of next year. So we're looking just to get as much content as we can, sort of frequently, and probably with Owen as well. I mean, we're happy with him, and he's a really 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 accomplished guy. He lives and breathes music as well. So we kind of work together, I think.
Those are the best kind of people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
he's great. He's got the best drum sound. That's the like one of the most important things. Like his technique for recording the drum kit is just so quality. I think when you're like a small band and you're paying for everything yourself, and it's all that kind of stuff. You can end up kind of going to the studio, and you just don't get the good sounds you want, and especially with drums. But his like drum sound is so quality.
He's got some great ideas, hasn't he? His sort of production.
Yeah, exactly. Like his production style of recording, it's brilliant. Yeah, he's great. He's a great guy.
That's awesome. So you guys are from Central England. How's the pop punk scene there? Do you have a favorite venue, favorite local band?
The scene,
Yeah.
it's kind of building up a little bit now, isn't it, Rob? It's but we're from, I mean, from back in the day when we started playing, the local scene in Nuneaton was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You get people from around the country coming over here, and they couldn't believe that a small town in central England was you get as much of a turnout of this. So Friday and Saturday nights over there were great. Then it died out a little bit, but I mean, you're probably finding as well that there's like a bit of a sort of pop punk emo sort of resurgence, isn't there, nowadays? And then you're getting a few more people come out, and it's great now. I mean, we try and play as much as we can. We're busy people with lives and jobs and stuff now, so it's a bit of a shame we've got to work around that. But we've met some great bands playing sort of locally around. I suppose our favourite venues probably rather what like the Archers. We play there a fair bit.
We played there quite a lot, yeah. And that's where we've met quite a lot of great bands.
Yeah.
There's a great
Paradise are a great band.
Yeah, there's a great emo band called North of Paradise we play with. There's a really good band who are from Nuneaton. They're called Shackleford. They're a great pop punk band who you probably love, Dave. You should check them out, man. They're like they're like Green Day or like Jawbreaker. They're a band like that. They're really good. We played our first couple of shows with those guys, and I mean, we're all like really good mates with them too. I've been in bands with all of them at some point. So yeah, check out Shackleford. They're great. Yeah. Who else we played with that's good?
Yeah,
just there was a mention. Gutter Puppy.
Grail Guard. They're good guys, aren't they? Putting a really
Grail Guard are a really good like hardcore band, like Black Flag, Minor Threat kind of style hardcore band.
Yeah. And it's so awesome now just being able to watch like a band like that. I mean, Riaz, the singer, he's kind of what you expect from a hardcore band, going out there in the in the crowd and kind of doing what he does. But check out their videos and especially their music on all the streaming platforms, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, quite
all that is right up my alley.
Sorry.
All that's right up my alley. Green Day, Jawbreaker, Black Flag, Minor Threat.
Yeah, man. Well, like quite often, like there'll be shows where like you got really different bands, but they're all just somewhere in the punk spectrum, I suppose. And you get a pretty varied value for your £5 or whatever it is we charge.
Right on. So who would you say your biggest influences are?
Go on, Rob. Yours are very different from mine.
It's tough, really. Yeah, it's tough, really, the influences. Because the idea of when we started the band was literally just to like muck about and like wade very heavily deep into like nostalgia and cover like Taking Back Sunday or like Start in Line or Save the Day, like that kind of stuff.
I think that's one of the funniest thing about our first practice was but like we played Taking Back Sunday song before we went. We said that we'd learn Timberwolves, so we played that literally twice. And after 15 minutes of playing that, it was like, well, can't just keep playing that for a couple of hours. What do we do? Then like by the end of that first practice, we made a song, and then obviously it kind of all joined up. But then like Rob, I mean, your sort of writing influences are. You're like massive.
So I guess like because that was the initial idea, we thought that's kind of the route we'd go down, but we never really talked about it after that. I'll be honest, we literally never talk about influences ever. We just kind of turn up to practice and write stuff together and see what happens in it all. And because I guess we all like so much different stuff, it's just a massive melting pot. Like as far as those bands like Taking Back Sunday and stuff like that we were talking about, like I can't really say I've like been massively interested in them for a really long time. Like since then I'm like super into like, I'm like a huge Beatles head since I was a kid. I love like Bruce Springsteen and stuff like that, and Tom Petty and Elvis Costello. And then like I love the Arctic Monkeys and the Strokes. I like kind of like all kinds of music, and I think everyone's pretty similar in that they just listen to heaps and heaps of different stuff, and then you end up just getting a big melting pot,
So if you could tour with one of those bands, which one?
Oh man, that is solid. I tell you what, I'd tour with who would we best go with, Mick? Menzingers.
Yeah, Menzinger would probably be a pretty good one, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Fairly similar. We get told. That'd be a pretty good one. I mean, no, in all fairness, I would absolutely love to tour with someone like Taking Back Sunday. It'd just be an absolute
Oh yeah.
blast to go on the road.
Yeah, it would be a blast, wouldn't it?
100%. Yeah. You could say the Beatles, but you can't tour with one bloke now, can you? So.
Yeah, there's two of them. Two are alive.
Oh,
But yeah, like yeah, I'm a big Menzingers fan. I'm a big fan of like their kind of sound. I suppose you're like, I mean, that's like big by you, right? It's East Coast.
Yeah, the Menzins. I'm trying to think where they're based out of. I think it's
I think they're
based out of Pittsburgh.
Philadelphia.
Actually, no, you're right. You're right. I think they're based out of Philadelphia, which is an hour and a half away. So they're
Right.
not too far from me.
Yeah, I love that band. I think they're great. Everyone really loved the first one that blew up. I can't remember the name of it now, but I really like a record called After the Party, which is like a real solid, like pop rock record, which is basically all I try and do. Anytime I try and write a song, I just try and write solid, feel good pop rock, really.
That's awesome. You can't really go wrong with any of those bands.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. They're all pretty much listened to. I mean, I back in the day was sort of like a complete drive-through records guy, so I used to love bands like Phoenix TX and RX Bandits.
Yes. Now you're speaking my language.
And I remember going to
records for life.
Exactly, yeah, going concerts back in the day. And do you remember Cheetah? He was their street team guy. He was out there and just chatting to those guys. But back in the day, just me and my friend who I was in the band with back in the day, we were like 14, and then we'd go to shows at like 10 a.m. and just kind of queue up outside and just try and get to meet the bands. It's so funny now, isn't it? Like when you think back of those sorts of things, because at the moment, like, if I go, I'll make sure that I kind of go as late as possible and stand right at the back. But it'd be great to go back in time and play with bands like that. I mean, I've noticed that Phoenix TX is posting a little bit now, so it'd be great if they tour again. Love to see them.
Can't forget about bands like Houston Calls and Alistair, Newfound Glory, The Starting Line. Like you just go on and on. I mean, it was that their lineup was so insane. Like it was just absolutely ridiculous.
Oh yeah. But back in the day, sort of like an 05 Warp Tour would be the dream, I think.
I mean, maybe like when you say about like influences and stuff, like because there were the bands that we were like super into when we were like really young. Maybe that's just the kind of thing that completely sticks with you so hard.
Yeah,
and that's why like we've ended up with this like pretty like poppy feel band. You know, despite all the years in between listening to such different stuff, you can't help but just like go back to where you kind of started. It's like deeply rooted into you.
Yeah, it's part of you now.
Oh, absolutely. So now I'm going to ask you guys a non-music question. It's a good way for me to get to know you. I did this with the other bands I interviewed. Are you ready?
Yeah,
go for it.
All right, first one, best holiday that you guys have been on.
I went to New Zealand in 2017. That was amazing. New Zealand's amazing.
Yeah.
So I drove around in a camper van for like 3 weeks with my missus. It was amazing.
Well, now you're just rubbing it in. I'm extremely jealous just because I'm a big Lord of the Rings guy, and that's where they filmed
right?
Lord of the Rings movies.
That's right. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I did a great trip back in I think it's 2010, and we were meant to do Route 66 actually for 2.5 weeks, but we were actually on actual Route 66 for about 10 minutes. The rest of it was going on like the interstates and stuff, but just stopping by from sort of like east to west. It was amazing, absolutely brilliant. Like it's such a different sort of like way of life than we're used to over here. And even something as small as like driving on a straight road for like 2 hours without changing and just seeing everything that you do and all the people that you meet it's really great. And you know, we found like we love the East Coast, love the central sort of stuff, and then West Coast. Not so that people are a bit ruder, but you know, it's a completely they're different people, aren't they? Like different regions that you go to. But that was amazing, just being with sort of like 4 of my really, really good friends and having a great time just before we had to grow up.
I definitely feel you on that one, my friend. That's awesome. Favorite video game?
I'm not a huge gamer, but back in the day, I used to love Broken Sword. Don't know if you remember that. Yeah.
Never heard of it. Sword?
Broken
what was that
Sword
one?
was like, it's one of those games where I'm not really into like having to go out and kill people and do all this sort of stuff because it's a bit too much for me. I like working stuff out, I like collecting stuff. So this is I think the basis of the story is a lawyer who goes to France, he witnesses a murder, and then he has to go around finding clues and then solve the murder. Great game.
What was that on? Like
That sounds
like
interesting.
PS2 or something?
Yeah, it was on like I think it was on PS2, but it was like a PC game as well that was like bought onto
Yeah.
PS2.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, I haven't played a video game well, I haven't played a new video game in yonks. I don't know. I've got a lot of the old ones. Like, my cousins like would get fed up with them, and then I'd get to have them instead. And I've still got loads of them. I've got like the NES and like
Yeah.
a Sega Mega Drive and all that kind of stuff. I still got a PS1. Remember like Driver and like SmackDown 2. I used to have all those ones.
Yeah, all the wrestling games were awesome back
Yeah. Crash Bandicoot.
WWE.
then. Yeah.
You can't see me.
Exactly. Yeah.
DDT.
Even that's too new for me. Like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Rob's like Hulk Hogan.
You got it, brother.
No, I'm like, what era am I, Mick? You know you wrestling better than
You're
me.
pretty much the Attitude Era, aren't you?
I'm
Like
Attitude Era, right? Yeah, it's like Stone Cold and that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Right
big
on.
news when I was 12.
Yeah, and I never grew out of it. I'll still watch it now. I still watch AEW. You're going to watch them when they come over here in a couple of weeks.
Hey, you're never too old for it. That's what I tell people. You're never too old to to watch WE, watch Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, skateboard, and listen to pop punk, go to pop punk shows.
Yeah, but as long as your knees stay intact, then you're fine.
I mean, who needs knees? I mean, knees are overrated.
Exactly. Yeah, they've got six-seated seats.
You always just get fake ones. If you guys could go back in time and talk to one world leader or person of influence, who would it be?
I don't know. That is solid.
Yeah, I suppose you got to talk to Hitler, haven't you? You got to have a nice conversation.
I mean, I was gonna say that too. Yeah.
Out of really interesting people, you've got to probably go with him. I mean, I watched a program about
just be
Vladimir
like, pal,
Putin
what are you
not too
thinking?
long ago, and just thinking about like him when he grew up and actually knowing about his past and stuff is pretty crazy. I mean, like KGB and all that sort of stuff. And obviously he's a pretty naughty man. But if he could sit and make sure that he doesn't kill you, then that'd be an interesting conversation.
What about you?
I don't know. This is good. This is a good question. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm quite interested in like what England was like not that long ago. Oh, like Dickens or someone like that. That would be pretty cool. He seems like a pretty interesting guy. Oh, Jim Henson. That would be a good one actually. On a completely different note, I really like Jim Henson.
That's a different answer.
Yeah, that's pretty different to Hitler or Charles Dickens. Yeah, someone like that. But you mean it's hard to not like just ask for the big ones, isn't it? Your Hitlers, your Gandhis,
Yeah,
your
Napoleon.
Churchills, Napoleon. Yeah,
All the classic ones.
yeah.
Julius Caesar.
So if you guys had $1 million and could donate to any charity, which one?
That is solid.
It is, isn't it? I would probably have to go with a children's one, just being like a dad myself. I used to always think before I was a dad thinking, yeah, how can we just donate to them? There's people out there who need that money as well. But then when you think about, defenseless like kids and stuff, it's definitely.
You got to save the children of the future, Nick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But we're like Michael Jackson like that. Yeah.
What about you? What would you go with?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I guess like, man, what could you do? Where would $1 million do a good job? Because some places $1 million wouldn't touch the sides,
Smaller sort of place, wouldn't it? Like
Yeah.
Or sort of like a conservation site.
Oh yeah. That would be good. Yeah. Yeah, I'd go something more like like a I don't know. This is solid. I don't know. I'm gonna have to pass on this one. I can't think of anything. Also, because like shouldn't need charities. The government should step in. That's a bigger conversation, though. Does charity enable the government to then get away with not helping people in need? This is a bigger conversation now.
Yeah, we're just down with the government. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, last question, guys. What are some places where you guys are at that visitors should check out?
So if people come to where we live, should check out.
Yeah.
Oh right. Like probably don't come here.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to come where we are.
It's boring.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on.
Everyone really wants to leave.
but I mean, I say that, but there is one key. I mean, if you're gonna come here, in fact, actually, people should come here because there's a thing in Nuneaton called Mount Judd, and it is, it's like if you think about like Stonehenge, if you think about like any just natural, well, that's the thing, it's not natural, is it? Any physical attribute, that's our biggest one, man. Mount Judd. It's a mountain in the middle of town. And I guess it's made out of rubbish.
It's a glorified tip, yeah, but it's kind of in the shape of a mountain. And then people you're not allowed to go up there. It's kind of like a cautioned off site, but every now and then you're driving past and you see someone's up there or sticking up a flag or having a few beers. But being from England, you can't really do much apart from like drink in the bad weather. But we're quite lucky that because we're central. We're like sort of like a hour's drive from somewhere that's always like pretty nice and scenic. So and Rob, you're
on the way to somewhere scenic, man. Drive past Mount Judd.
Definitely.
You'll have to take me there when I get over there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we'll go and watch.
It's basically just like a quarry. There's a big quarry and it's a big hole, but they had to everything out of the hole had to go somewhere, and it went right next to it, and it made Mount Judd.
Everything happens for a reason.
Exactly. I mean, there's something weirdly beautiful about it, I've got to say.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on and chatting up a little bit, and the support means a lot to me.
Oh, thanks for having us on, Dave.
Yeah, really appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
So for the people I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thank you for your support too.
Anytime. That's what I'm here for. So for the people that are going to watch this interview later, where can they find your music at?
We're on Spotify and on the Apple Musics and everything. You just look up Better Luck and we'll be there.
Yeah, if you find us on Instagram at Better Luck the Band, we've got a link on there to all of our link tree as well, to all of our videos and whatnot.
Yeah, and our shows and stuff like that. And you check out our streaming stuff. We've got an EP out that came out last year called Flying Blind. 4 songs on it. And then we've got a single out that came out last month called Another Day. And within the next couple of months, there'll be another single out too. And then we're recording again at the end of the year, so there'll be more. And we're just going to keep on pushing that way.
Yeah, all about the content.
Exciting times. We'll do what the guys said. Go to the websites, support them, buy their music, buy their merch. They're doing an awesome thing for the scene. Keep up the great work.
Thanks a lot, man.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Of course. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great night, and we'll chat soon.
Cool. Cheers, Dave. See you again.
Good night.
See ya.
Good night.